I just realized, folks, that my little countdown on my screen was actually was was not set right. I don't know what happened there, but hello and welcome to a historic first Monarchs live show. Dan Vaughn with your voice of your Kansas City Monarchs. Glad you guys are along today. Let me test the audio, make sure we're on. I'm hearing myself. It's a hot stove update. And currently calling this Monarchs Live. Glad you guys are along. Happy Monday. Happy Run It Back Monday, Kansas City. It was a very exciting day for all you folks yesterday as your Chiefs are bound for the Super Bowl. And for us folks that are cheer for this school, we're very excited. Well, you can kind of tell it's the Texas Tech Mass. So we're very excited as well and have a real personal adoration for the Hunt family as well. So congratulations to all the folks up in Kansas City. A big win Monday. It's what we call Victory Monday. And let's jump into Victory Monday with some Monarchs talk here. Glad you're along. Again, the Hot Stove Update is what we're doing here. And I was thinking about this a little bit over the weekend that, last week, and I think I mentioned this at the show we did at the museum on Thursday at the announcement, that Ryan Grotjohn was the final T-Bone signee on the roster. And then I remember mentioning, I want to say I casually mentioned this to Morgan, perhaps to Nick at the office, somebody. I mentioned this to, maybe Jay, I don't know, someone. And I mentioned this, that the next signees we have will be Monarch signees. And it's a pleasant problem to have to go back and change some of the bios and things like that. But the next two, and let's just imagine one day down the road, Monarchs are in year 10. They're just kicking tail, and they become just what I believe they're going to become, just the legends of Kansas City once again, because they already are, but returning that legendary reign again. And you're sitting at a pub or a restaurant, or you're with your mates, and they're all saying, hey, for example, Nate Herron, who's checking in right now. You know what? Let's try a little trivia. Can you name the first two Monarchs, reborn Monarchs, relaunched Monarchs signees? Well, if you would throw out the names of Gavin Lavalier and Jan Hernandez, that'd be them. That would be the answer. Folks, that is the answer. That's your trivia answer. When you go to the pub, when you're out with your mates, when you're sitting around the ball yard, you know what? When you're sitting at the ball yard this summer, returning back to the park, and you're sitting there and you're going, you know what? I know where the first Monarch signees were this year. These are the two. Let's tell you all about it. Let's bring this logo down here. And I say this every year. I said this last year with Joe Capietra. It's a very intriguing ball club. It's a very it's a loaded ball club. I mean, it's a real. Let me bring this down too. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. Just a little changing up on BeLive. Sounds great. Thank you very much. Oh, you, Steve, happy Monday. Nate as well. Good to see you guys. Let's bring this up for you. Jan Hernandez, I'm going to bring that down. They've kind of changed my graphics here a little bit. Not they, but the program I use. So you got to bear with me. I used to have it all kind of memorized where I could literally just give it the go. And let me bring this down here. There we go. So you can see it. It's spelled like Jan, but it's not Jan. It's Jan Hernandez from Puerto Rico. I'm interested in his bio. He played at the Carlos Beltran Academy. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with that academy, but several big league players over the years have gone back and invested in their home countries, their hometowns, or whatever, and put up baseball academies. Beltran was one of them. I remember, 15, 20 years ago, maybe more than that, 25 years ago, Juan Gonzalez had one along with Pudge Rodriguez down in Puerto Rico as well. And that's going back a number of years. But Hernandez, product of that. Let me give you his bio line here. 26 years old, 6'1", there. But let me give you his 6'1", 195, turning 26 this last month on the 3rd, born in San Lorenzo, Puerto Rico. Phillies third-round pick. Now, you're going to get a couple of guys here that are upper picks in the draft. In first one, Hernandez, third-round pick with the Phillies in 2013. Now that Beltran Baseball Academy in Puerto Rico, Florida, Puerto Rico. Here's a guy that on paper, he's probably you're going to say, okay, he's an infielder, right? Yes, but he really blossomed as of late his last couple of years in the Phillies organization as a corner outfielder. I think this is your right fielder. I think this is a guy that on opening day, he's your right fielder for the Monarchs when Joe Cappietro puts that lineup card up in the dugout at the Legends Park, puts it up there, puts it with a Sharpie. This guy is in right field. Most recently, he's been playing a little winter ball down in Puerto Rico, the Winter League there. Played in 8 ball games down there. Played last year, actually last 2 winters, he's played, a little 14 games overall, but just a little competitive baseball, winter ball. His last season professionally would have been 2019, reaching AAA Lehigh Valley, playing in 61 games for the Phillies there. The Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, which is always one of the bigger fun names. Sorry about that. Yes, I will. I'm going to get to that, GM, by the way. Hope you're feeling better, my love. Yes, I will give you guys a little something from the TV last night that I would really enjoy. And I hope you guys saw it. T. Lee, cool. Can't wait to catch a game. Can't wait till you catch a game. And by the way, if you want to catch a game and you're thinking about it, the schedule's not out yet, but it's coming. I mean, it's the next thing on the pipe. It's coming down the pipeline. I know it's on the tracks, all right? I do believe, just a little teaser here, you're going to see opening day around the same time you do every year on mid-May. That, go ahead and pencil it in somewhere in there. Now, where it is, who it is, don't know that, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to have opening day. Now, and if you're thinking about tickets to Monarchs games, think no further. Go to the website right now, monarchs.com, and I'll put that up in a moment, and you can check out the links there. I know we have folks standing by ready to go. They're always on the phones ready to go. Take your memberships and season ticket plans and groups and suite rentals and your night and everybody's night. We're all ready to go. We're all ready to go as the Monarchs play 2021. More on Hernandez, though. Mentioned Lehigh Valley was 61 ball games there, 12 home runs, 44 RBIs, power numbers. I pulled up some numbers, or not numbers, some things that were written about him by a couple of what you get a lot of times. You get these Phillies or Royals or whoever, a lot of guys who follow the farm systems, and they write extensively about the different players in the league, in their farm system, what leagues they're playing in. This is a little write-up about Hernandez from about, I guess, 2 years ago. I say raw power, but every time his power kind of got to the next level, it peak, kind of drop again, and he kind of peak again. He's kind of plateaued. That's probably the reason the Phillies made him available, and that's why he's a T-bone. Pardon me, I knew I'd say it once. There's my $1 there. That's why he is a Monarch. Pardon me there, folks. I told myself this morning I have no problem. I even said it last week. I have no problem doing that, but I did. Best in right field, though, I would think. And that's, although he's played some center, Joe likes some versatility there. We've already talked about some of the versatility in the outfield already. I would say, though, I think this is your right fielder. Probably be out every day, out in right field. One of those guys that I think, being young enough and being drafted basically out of high school, I think he's still got a very high ceiling. He's that kind of player, despite hitting AAA, still very young. Now just turned 26, but still young as far as, teams will take a flyer on a guy and stick him at AA and AAA just to see what he's got. He's been compared a lot to prospect Mitch Walden as well. But again, Jan Hernandez, career numbers, 514 minor league games. He's played 7 years of winter ball. So this is a guy that's a ball. He's a ball player, okay, year-round ball player. 122 ball games in the winter leagues in Puerto Rico, mainly, I believe. If my notes are correct, yeah, everything has all been Puerto Rico on the island. But career numbers, 636 professional ball games. He's got 79 long balls, 277 driven in, a career average of 231, OPB of 304, a slug of 400, and an OPS of 704. That's his career number. Again, his 61 games in 19, his last season he played in North America. 12 long, 44 driven in, and he hit 250 there for Lehigh. I want to pull up how he figured on Lehigh's, let's see if he figured on their club pecking order. I didn't pull this up yet. I'm working on his bio now. I want to see where he finished. He was third in their club in home runs. A couple of guys that reached the big leagues as well. You know, mentioned Mitch Walding is kind of the guy that he's big leaguer there, big hot prospect for the Phillies. Desve Garon, Lane Adams, both big leaguers. But Garon hit 21 long that year, but obviously he was tied for second, and his 444 driven in puts him sixth in the club. But he was second on the team in home runs that year in 2000 and Swearjar. That's my one. I'm telling you, I don't think those. We get back to the signings at hand. I don't think I should probably say I don't think a lot, enough, or whatever. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. And I thought about this morning. I'm glad you guys are along here on our little first Monarchs Live hot stove update on a Monday. Usually, let's say, for example, I'm going to use the NFL, okay? For so many years, we've always called Washington, right? And they became the football team, right? And dang near, because so many years have been ingrained, and all of a sudden, literally one day, they've kind of flipped the switch, and all of a sudden, they're called the football team, and you're like, what? We've known for a few weeks. This was something that's gone back. So I've known the Monarch thing has been in the hopper. We've known it's been in the oven, pull it out, ready to go. So I've already been telling myself, don't let it slip. And in on those T-Bone shows, I was saying, don't let it slip. Don't, just kind of keep it on the track, Vaughn. Keep it on the track. And then, and I think that really helped last week in the show because I didn't make any of those blunders until a moment ago, Nate. So, way to go, DV, right? Anyway, glad you're along. It's a hot stove update, Monarchs Live. Mentioned two signings. So, trivia answer number one, your first Monarch relaunch signee, Yan Hernandez. And then the second one, young man out of Oklahoma. I don't remember if Gavin LaValliere came first, chicken or the egg kind of thing. I don't know. I got to look up. Technically, you want to get technical about it, I believe. Let's just see what text I got first. That'll really give you the better answer. I believe, yeah, it was LaValliere. So LaValliere is if you want to get technical, Gavin LaValliere from Midwest City, Oklahoma, just outside Oklahoma City, is the first Monarch signee. But in reality, on that transaction sheet, it's going to have both of them probably. It'll have them in alphabetical order. It'll be Yan Hernandez will be listed first, technically. But he was first. But they both came on the same day, and I believe. Let me see what the league put on, just out of curiosity. Again, I want to make sure you get your trivia questions right. All right, your answers right. But technically, Gavin is first. But if you want to, again, either answer would be correct. I mean, you'd have two guys. Let's just see here. Yeah, they're both listed on. Actually, technically, you know what? I stand corrected. Because technically on the transaction sheet, although I got these both on Friday, technically the 22nd is when Gavin was signed. And according to the association, which I got one more piece of news for you as well, Hernandez was actually inked today, although we had it out for you on Friday. Morgan did a great job, as she always does. That graphic you see there, that's Morgan's handiwork. It's out there with Joe's quote on there. That all came out on Friday. And we retweeted and all that, but I announced it here, which is just for Facebook and for show purposes, because Friday, it was late news dump and all that. But more on Gavin in a moment. And I'll give you one more piece of news in a moment as well that came off the association in a minute. But let's talk about LaValliere. I've got Jaime LaValliere on my mind for some reason. Gavin LaValliere is out of Midwest City, Oklahoma. Very similar makeup to Hernandez in a sense that he was a high school kid, taken in the fourth round, high draft pick. Again, just look at those websites that talk about, and again, I'll just kind of paraphrasing a few of them. Fourth round guys, you have a third round and a fourth rounder. from the 2014 draft and then the 2013 draft. So you got a couple of guys that are, 20, 26 years old, be 27 next December. So we'll start this year at 26, 6'3", 235. I watched a little video, and I'm trying to think who he reminded me of. He is a right-handed bat, though. So I don't know. He's a right-handed power bat. I mean, so just insert whatever right-handed power bat you've seen over the years out there at the ballpark. He'd be that guy. I was trying to rack my brain of one in particular, just watching a little video. But again, big guy, Albert High School there in Midwest City. I believe he was recruited by Oklahoma, but chose to sign with the Cincinnati Reds. So the Reds organization didn't get to AAA, but spent AA the last couple of years. Here's an interesting tidbit as well as far as power numbers. We talked about Hernandez having double figures his last season there at AAA. LaValle has got double-figure home runs in going back as far as 2016, 17, 18, and 19. So 4 straight seasons, he had at least 10 home runs in a minor league season. His first season in 14 in rookie ball hit 6 combined, and then in 15 at Dayton he hit 4. So he only he had 125 ball games. Here's an interesting point though: 125 ball games in the Midwest League in 2015, hit 4 homers, drove in 53 with 267 the clip, slash of 343 and 358. But in 16 is where he really jumps. He goes to Daytona in the Florida State League, played in 92 ball games, 11 home runs, 61 driven in. So a huge jump in power numbers in the Florida State League. And then he kept that same pace in AA. AA, he hit 18 home runs in the 2017 season at 2 stops, 15 at Daytona, and 3 more at Pensacola. Then at AA, he hit the 13 home runs in 2018 and 2019, 10 home runs there in Chattanooga. The Lookouts at historic Ingalls Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Cool ball. By the way, cool ballpark here. We get over to Chattanooga. It's a cool town and a really cool ballpark, historic Ingalls. But 10 home runs in 19, his last professional season, hit 254, on base percentage of 339, and a slug of 396. The slash line his final season, 119 games for the Reds at AA Chattanooga, AA Pensacola the year prior, 120 ball games. Coming off, he hadn't played in a year, but he's coming off back-to-back seasons of playing 100-plus ball games. So the association season should be no issue for him there. Sorry, guys, I didn't need to catch up with the comments here. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Let me go back here. Let's see here. Yeah, Morgan. By the way, great job for Morgan. I'll pull the curtain back. Morgan and I got this text, 6:45. Actually, I was on my show in Australia when I got this information. Would have been Friday evening, and I was actually on the air, and I saw it. I looked down, and Morgan knocked out 2 of these graphics. You see Joe's comments, and Gavin's a big bat, very athletic. We're excited to have him on the roster. He's another player that will make the most given second opportunity at the Major League organization. And I think that's what you're getting from both these guys. These are both guys in Hernandez and LaValle who are very similar in age, very similar in pedigree. One did reach AAA, but have similar power numbers, although Gavin has been consistently across the board the last almost 5 seasons, basically AAA at 8 home runs. His first full season, then he's gone double figures in 4 straight years. But you have a couple of guys who weren't playing 4 years of college and then adding on 6 or 7 years of minor league baseball. These are guys that came out of high school and did not go the college route, so they still don't have that. They're a little younger for release season. I think probably if things hadn't been shuffled around in the minor leagues in the MILB, they might not be available. Well, at least in LaValle's case, might not be available with the Reds. I believe Hernandez could have possibly been available. Let me catch up here. Let's see here. A lot of new faces. Let me bring this down here, by the way, and I'll give you guys a wrap in a moment of it. Any old play? Yes, let me do that while we're here. I do have the roster up for you. currently as it stands right now, and I'm not going to put it on the screen, but let me read it to you how it stands. There's currently 11 pitchers. Here are your 11 pitchers in alphabetical order: Stetson Ali, Dylan Baker, a couple of and Akeem Bostic, 3 right-handers. Then Aaron Brown is currently playing in Australia with the Brisbane Bandits, and I encourage you to check them out this weekend online. Carlos Diaz, back-to-back lefties there. So Diaz is back, Bostic is back, Baker's back. Frank Duncan was signed last year in the offseason, did not pitch for the ball club, but the former Jayhawk is part of the Monarchs roster now. Brian Ellington is back. You remember he was signed by the Mariners, but is back as well. Brian Gowicki is new. Eric Manoah Jr. was a waiver claim. Now, he was with the ball club, which in this case, I'm going to use the word T-Bones. He was with the T-Bones in the 19 season. Remember, he was signed by Grand Prairie, and we had a really good year down there. Jamison McGraney was also a 2020 signee for last season. Did not pitch for KC, but did pitch for St. Paul. He, along with, let's see, am I looking at Brown, also played at St. Paul. Then Eric Stout, remember Eric Stout, was also signed by the Reds organization off the, at that time, T-Bone roster in 2019. Stout, former big leaguer, former Royal, the left-hander. So currently 11 pitchers, 3 lefties, all righties, and some very intriguing things to talk about with Joe Capietra coming up in a couple weeks' time. We get our show rolling on Wednesdays. Infield, outfielder-wise, technically, Jan Hernandez is an outfielder, so I'm going to put him down there. But you got 6 infielders, but with Jordan George being released. By the way, that was my next piece of news. George was released from the roster. I will get to that in a moment. But currently gives you 5 infielders. Gavin LaValle, Ramsey Romano, of course, he's back. Darnell Sweeney is back, although he left, but it's back again. Dylan Tice was a 20 signee, of course, with the ball club parts of 2 seasons. He went and played at Milwaukee. He is back as well. And then Keaton Wise is also a new Kansas City Monarch. And in the outfield, Chuck Taylor, who played at St. Paul, he was signed by the club in the offseason prior to last season. He is back technically, but didn't play for KC. Then Ryan Grotjohn, I mentioned, the final signee. Young man is out of the West Coast, Scottsdale, actually, Visalia and Jackson, where he was most recently with the Angels organization. Roy Morales is back. The All-Star had a great year for Winnipeg and Sioux Falls. And then Daniel Weisinger, young man who was out of the Diamondbacks organization and most recently was at King County in the Midwest League out of El Paso, Texas. He's your catcher. So you got 2 catchers, 3 outfielders, 5 infielders. So 5, 7, 9, and then the 11 pitchers. So you're looking at 20 folks on the roster currently is the way it breaks down for you guys right now. So there is your new faces there, Jim. But good to see you, Jim. Hope you're doing well. Any openings in the roster for pitchers? Dylan, I will tell you this. I have no idea. No, are you asking for yourself, Dylan? I would contact Joe Capietra. He is the man who puts the roster together, or Jay, or could contact the ball club. You know what? You can email me. I can forward your information on to Joe as well. And it's DVAUGHAN. I'll put up the screen for you there. How about it? That'll probably be better. Well, that'll probably be better if we can do that for you. This way you can feel free to email me, and I will be more than happy to forward it on to Joe and to Jay as well. I believe that we'll get it all right there. Sorry about that, folks. We're going to do this live here. Anyway, yeah, there we go. Okay, let's put this up on the screen. So yeah, make sure you put the here we go. Yep, there we go. Make sure you put the VAUGHAN on that front end. That'll get you covered there. And yeah, I think I'm going to get to that as well. Let me bring that back down, but go ahead and get that there. So yeah, Dylan, go ahead and check that out. Also, Dylan, and for others out there, it's my understanding, and I do believe it will not be an issue, but we will have, oops, sorry about that. I want to bring this down as well. We do want to talk about that in a moment. Sorry, guys, this is all my new, they changed this all on me and I didn't even realize it until I went on the air on Thursday. I was like, oh my gosh, I got a whole new template to run and learn here. Here we go. But yeah, there we go. Monarchs Live Hot Stove Update. A couple of things here. Let's get to them. But yeah, I do believe there'll be a tryout camp. There always is. It's usually the first week before or weekend before spring training starts for the ball club. Usually it's that either last weekend of April, first weekend of May. But that'll be announced. But look for details on our Twitter, our Facebook, and also when that is officially announced, we'll also talk about it here on the show. So as well. Yeah, we're going to get to the merchandise and all that. Let me get to all these. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little behind here. Let's see here. Any news? All 8 teams going to, as far as I know, now here's what I do know. There's not going to be any, we know that St. Paul went away. You know that the Air Hogs went away. But I do believe, I have it on pretty good authority that you're going to see 2 additional clubs. That's why the delay. And remember, we talked about this a little bit one of our shows, Brian, maybe a month or so ago. One of the reasons the schedule was delayed to a degree was that MILB juggling around and all that. So I believe there'll be 10 teams in the league. Is that right? Is my math right? But yeah, we did lose St. Paul. We did lose the one down in Grand Prairie. But other than that, everything else seems pretty much ready to roll, as far as I know. I've not heard anything otherwise, and I think everybody will be ready to roll. How about that? Let's see here. Yeah, merchandise. How's it known since rebranding? Maybe Morgan, you can tell us more about that, but it's been very positive. I can tell you just within moments of the announcement on Thursday, we were getting some definite traction on that merch site, and it's up on our website. So I'm going to get to that in a moment. Maybe Morgan actually talks about it. Yeah, here we go. Merchandise sales have been great. Membership is yes, hotcakes and tickets from sale. Now call us. Would you please send me that number to the number you want them to call, Morgan, and I'll put that on the screen as well. But I was mentioning that a while ago. Definitely do that. Yeah, shoot that out to me, or even want to text it to me. I can even do that too. Here we go. Let's see here. Yeah, where do you look for merchandise? We're going to get to that, but let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and jump that on the new website. Question from Anthony. Anthony, glad you're along. Yeah, it's on the new website. Dylan, glad to help you, mate. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Let's go ahead and pull that. I did do this. I did get this. Here are your places to go. Now, you want to get that merch. It's pretty straightforward. If I can find it here, well, I say it's straightforward. It was up here a moment ago. Where did I put it? Talk amongst yourselves, folks. Sorry about that. DB, you were supposed to be more prepared than this today, and I thought you were. I thought I had this up. I put it in there, but I must not have saved it. So let's try it. Here we go. Sorry, guys. I swore I was going to be more professional today. All right, here we go. Let's show it to you now. This is there's a website there, right there. And it's very, very simple. Go there. It's right across the top. It's really cool. There's actually a really neat little launch video as well. It takes you right to the page. All the information's there. monarchsbaseball.com. Simple. And if you forget, for some of those that maybe, type in, or maybe you've got on your computer, you've got the old website, it'll take you to the new website. If you've got it bookmark the new one, but the old one will take you to the new one. So that's all good too. All right, let's continue. A couple of items here I want to get to. There you go. That's where you can find the merch right there. You see it? Gotcha. Okay. Let's see here. Here's the deal. If you're looking at all the teams that were contracted and were orphaned, if you will, by MILB, in the Midwest League, you know that 2 of them have already been plucked to the Prospect League, Burlington, Iowa, and Clinton, Iowa. All right, he's got that out of his system. Well, maybe not. Anyway, so those 2 teams are in the Prospect League. There's been no announcement for King County. Make that of it what you will, if you want to, Mark. I mean, whatever. But that club has not been put in the Prospect or another league, so it's out there. So that kind of is my answer. Jackson, Tennessee. I don't think that's a viable possibility. I don't believe, but don't know. There we go. There's the number right there. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go ahead and put that up one more time for you guys here in a minute. But there's 913-328-5618. 913-328-5618. Tickets, questions, suites, groups, memberships, anything and everything about the Kansas City Monarchs can be found right there. Or mention the website as well, monarchsbaseball.com. Let's catch up too. Let's see here. Should I order online? So Sizzle just no, not a thing anymore, Austin. He's a thing, but he's still a thing, but he's not a thing with the Monarchs at the moment, as far as I know. Let's see here. We'll do adding merch. Yes, more options coming. Here, let me get off script a moment. There's more coming, and there's some really cool things there. And as fans of baseball in Kansas City, if you were fans of the old brand and the old ball club that was playing out there, you're still a fan of ours. Because trust me, what's coming with merch and events and on field, at the park, upstairs, downstairs, you name it, it's just going to continue to get better. And the merch is a great example. You know, I was out the ballpark. I haven't to tell you this, but I was at the ballpark last Thursday after the show and just excited to see the work being done. This is a really, I mean, the rebrand is awesome, but everything is awesome going forward. And for the fans out there, this ownership group, this front office, what's the saying? They got it going on. They do. All right, let's continue here. More merch coming. So now here's interesting breaking news. I've not been ruled out completely yet. Stay tuned. He may appear. Okay. So there you go. There you have it. That's coming straight from the ball club. How about that? Let's see here. Same thing happened on my podcast. Oh, you mean talking about you stumbled and said T-Bone instead of Monarchs? It's going to happen. I just think because of the fact that I've been telling myself for weeks and I've been excited to not say it, that I think that I've kind of conditioned my mind that it's a different brand. I'm no scientist here. I'm just a guy, just a broadcaster. But my scientific knowledge that I had at one point tells me that maybe my brain is trained that I was compartmentalizing and putting the T-Bones brand on one side, the Monarchs on the other, not crossing, paths there. And maybe that's what I've been doing because I only made the one mistake. And last Thursday I didn't do it all. And I knew I was pretty confident I wouldn't. Let's see here. Just a hunch. Let's see here. Yes, I do believe right on, Mark. I think you are. Good question. Chance to buy old T-Bones jerseys. Morgan may have a better answer for you than that, but than my answer, I would think so. Yeah, here we go. Here we have we have old merch available later, but right now no merch available T-Bone. So right now nothing. It's not uncommon for that stuff to be cleared out at some point, but here's the deal, and I'll just kind of give you what little I know. I know more than that, I guess, but because we didn't play last summer, and because we were coming off the ownership change, there wasn't a lot of merch purchased anyway. So there is a benefit to that, but I would think that, obviously we can't wear T-Bones gear anymore. But so I'm sure that if you've got it, collector's item, I suppose. I have multiple mascots. I'm sick of having fun. Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah. It's like who is it? Bernie the Brewer's got his female companion. And you got, I remember colleges will have, two mascots. I mean, it's not heck, every college, the Jayhawks have got several different ones, don't they? I mean, there's different ones. And I guarantee again, what I come back to is what they've got going on out there. That front office, they're on top of this. And I guarantee you Morgan's, when she's done with this, will be jumping right back into coming with more things just like that. Yes, Tim, you've got a collection that's yeah. You know what? It's a pretty good collection. I once there was a guy I knew in Iowa, in Burlington. He had every magnet schedule that the Midwest League had up until 2000. Now, I have not seen the guy since then, but I would imagine because he was very passionate about it. And he had this man cave, like it wasn't even a man cave, it was his garage that he turned into a man cave. It was a separate garage from the house, then driveway and garage was kind of offshooted from there. He had this whole wall of all the magnet schedules from all the teams in the Midwest League. And he had all the pennants, and every time, for example, Appleton Foxes changed to the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, and he had, the when they changed, he had the pennants as they changed too. It was really kind of cool. I don't know what he's doing these days. I need to probably look that gentleman up. But you can start your own little display there. Let's see. When name change, two separate teams. Not everybody's going to be happy, Ray, and I get it. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by two separate teams, though, because technically, well, I think what you mean by that is you're talking about the Monarchs circa 1920 to 1965, and that's the brand and it's a spirit thing. I'm going to say it's a story. It's a continuation of a great story, a great legacy. The records we won't be but here's the deal: Satchel Paige's records were not in the American Association. They didn't play the American Association. Now the Negro Leagues have been announced that those records are considered major league records to some degree. Now, how that's going to work out I don't know if the Hall of Fame's decided how that's going to work out exactly in Cooperstown, but they've recognized the Negro Leaguers as major leaguers. So the records, though, for example, the hitting streaks and things like that, those will actually only pick up when the franchise came to Casey. Well, actually, when the franchise played in Duluth. So all of our records will still be from the American Association, Northern League, and all that. But that makes sort of some sense, maybe. I don't know more than one mascot. You never know what I know, Morgan. I know that. I know you do. Yeah, the dog barking, Mark. The dog does that in your podcast. Yeah, he usually does it on cue. Like if I really need him to, like I could get him to come on the show. But my lovely wife is home teaching virtual this week because, well, we're in quarantine. It's like the song from the 80s, Phil Collins, Separate Lives. We're doing that in our own home. It's like, I mean, literally we're all home. We're not in the same home. It's very, very bizarre. Anyway, the dog's been with her. The T-Bones Monarchs is, yeah, exactly, Jim. I mean, again, I don't know how to really say it other than, I mean, we got into it a little bit on Thursday. I think Mark Brandmeier really kind of touched it perfectly. But again, as far as records and I mean, is this the same as the Monarchs from 1920? No, not the same team. But is the spirit there? Yes. Is the legacy there? Yes. Is the history going to continue? Yes. Is the legendary status going to continue? Are we going to celebrate their accomplishments? Yes. We're going to learn about those things. Yes. We're going to educate ourselves. Yes. We're going to celebrate the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and the Monarchs. We're going to celebrate. We're going to educate ourselves about what greatness they were. We're going to celebrate that greatness as part of our brand as well. That's all going to be part of it. And that's the exciting part. Now, the records may not be, but that's not the point. A couple of years ago, when there was a team in Fort Worth, they kept themselves called the Cats. They'd been called the Cats at the turn of the last century. And folks understood that they, obviously weren't the 1920s Cats, but it wasn't the point. Anyway, I think you get it, Jim. Thank you very much. Dylan, yeah, you bet. No problem, mate. No problem. Old equipment, I don't know. Most of those old pieces of equipment will be most of those guys have. I mean, that's their own gear and a lot of that stuff. The helmets and all that, I don't know. I mean, those things get refurbished every year anyway. They almost have to be. I think at one time I owned a game worn helmet that was broken, that was cracked, and it could be it was sat in the wall, it sat in a shelf, but you could see it was on one side it looked fine. Let's see here. Hey, whatever you guys want to say, I get it. I get it. They're my baseball family. Joe Capietra and you folks, Connie and everybody. If you're a T-Bones fan or a Monarchs fan or all points in between, we're all still one big baseball family in Kansas City. We're not labeled. We're not. I get that there's a few, but again, this has been such a positive thing, and I'm telling you, I think you folks know I don't pull any punches, and I will tell it like it is. Great things ahead. Great things ahead. Yes, theme night's coming, and here's the deal about that. And this is where Morgan, and I can tell you I'll use Morgan because I work closely with her. Nothing like new life, new energy. Shot of adrenaline, whatever you want to call it. And when Mark Brammeyer took over, there was that. And when this front office took over, and Mark McKee and Jay Hendricks and just the whole staff, there's a shot of adrenaline there. Excuse me. And there's some energy there. Resources as well. Game planning. Some of the things that handcuffed us before that folks may have wanted before that I would tell you, well, that's a great idea, but those handcuffs are gone off. And that shot of adrenaline, that shot of positivity, and this great brand, this reign returning. I mean, I'm telling you, it's just such a great thing. And Morgan there working hard because she's got that adrenaline. She's got that backing. She's got a platform that we haven't had. It's exciting. Let's see here. I would imagine to the previous text of Myers, will there be any bobbleheads? Good question. What about bobbleheads? I would imagine. Let's see here. A bobblehead is the number one on my list to do giveaway this year. Don't worry. Fingers crossed. You ask, and bingo. She delivers. Bobbleheads are huge. Figurines are huge. I know they've been very big with the museum as well. Just was down there, Thursday, and it's a very big part of what they do down there as well. So you'll see a lot of those little items to commemorate. Yeah, there's going to be tie-ins. That's one thing we talked about on Thursday. There's going to be a tie-in between the museum, the ball club, and really co-promoting those items. And we're going to be doing it in the broadcast. I love this stuff. We've already started doing it without even know. I didn't know. Back do you guys remember the show we did last summer during the season? We were doing the steakhouse shows. We weren't playing, but we still did the weekly show. Remember I broke down the Wednesday's wisdom for you about the lights, how the Negro Leagues were the first to have lights? I had no idea at the time that we'd be talking more about that in the future. But we're going to be diving into a lot of the history of the league and not just the Monarchs, the league and the game and where the innovations. G.L. Wilkinson, the gentleman who founded the Monarchs in 1920, is a phenomenal individual, a very interesting person. and I'm reading a book right now, and I've got another one. I've got a couple of them. I got somewhere around here. I've got one called Only the Bulb Was White that I'm diving into as well, and I've got another just a Monarchs book, and I'm really enjoying firing those off and getting more and more into that. And I was already into it before. So let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry. My wife's not in quarantine. She's in isolation. I'm in quarantine. Although this dry cough all of a sudden kicked up. I think it's because I'm talking. Or and you guys get that feeling too, and somebody around you says, "Oh, I'm sick," and all of a sudden you feel it too. I feel fine. Nothing more than normal allergies for me. I feel fine. Did my workout this morning. Um, I would think so. I would think so. Keith, that's a good question. Uh, yes. Again, Ray, you're onto something here. 2018 and 19 are behind us, and I loved those years. But like I mentioned a moment ago, there's a real new shot of adrenaline, and you're going to see things that we've not done in years. There are going to be some things we've not done in years, and I think that's nothing about what was done before. It's not trying to be negative. It's just being positive. The positive input of the new input and new ownership. That's what I'm talking about, and I'm excited because you know what? I'm like you. I remember coming in the office, the press box up there, and seeing all the old bobbleheads that were on the wall that we hadn't given away in years because we didn't give them away. So yeah, I like to see a bobblehead up there on my shelf of whoever. You know, I get a little jealous when I go on the road and see broadcasters had bobbleheads. I didn't have any, not for me, not of me, but of the club. So I'm right there with you. Organization's still the same. The people make the organization. Dan says, let's play ball. Let's play ball, Dan. I'm with you, mate. I'm with you all the way. It is the people. You know what? When there's good, and that's the thing. There are great people out there with the museum, with Monarchs. I mean, that baseball family's solid. You guys should be very proud. Frank will be back. Yes. Yes, Frank will be back. And I don't think I mentioned that, Ray, on the show on Thursday. I don't think. Did I? Or did I mention it 2 weeks ago? I did mention, I actually talked to Frank in length at the museum early in the morning on Thursday. And he was excited. He said, you know, and I'm paraphrasing Frank because Frank's, you know, he's a true gentleman, true class act. And Frank White is just, what an ambassador. But Frank said, you know, he was kind of, I'm paraphrasing here. You know, every year, you know, he thinks about, you know, maybe it's the time to get out of it. But he says, you know what? The older I get, the more I enjoy it. And I get out there at the ball field and I all the other distractions, you know, he's a politician and things that go on, kind of takes him away from that. So I can see I can see why he's excited too. He's very excited. Let's see here. Will there be? I doubt that. Yeah, that no longer in our lineup is what I'm being told. Yep, no longer. Let's see here. What updates? I'm running way behind. What updates we done? The stadium. Let's see. Well, I can tell you personally, I walked out there, across the suite level, and seats look great. The opening, you know, the main walkway looks great. The suite level they're in the middle of working on right now, but it looks great. Adam says Buck O'Neil tributes maybe play him singing every 7th stretch. Let's see, we've got tributes planned. Just can't give away everything. You have to buy tickets, come see what we'll all do. Yes. What is so exciting, and I'll tell you from a broadcast standpoint too, Adam, it opens up so many possibilities for me on the air. I mean, you know, the little Wednesday's Wisdom I did before was, you know, I was kind of, you know, doing those in our shows. It opens up a whole other, you know, a lot more to talk about. You know, in the little page from Baseball's Past we talked about on Thursday, you know, Museum Minute or whatever. We're going to be able to do a lot of things. And that's, you have my commitment here that I'm going to continue to educate myself and you guys as fans on the Monarch history, on the Monarch legacy, on the legend of the Monarchs and the Negro Leagues. We're going to continue to do that. And we're also going to celebrate the ball club's accomplishments. In 2018 means a lot. Joe Capietra's still there. We're still going to be kicking tail, taking names. You seen that roster we just talked about earlier? Anyway, let's see about fun time. Yeah, here we go. This is a good update too, and this is what I was talking about. I walked this updating the redo the club level media center, giving the naming the suites or many suites a facelift. I have some cool little group areas. Come to see it all. Any updates? Always post them. Morgan did post those photos last week. I took a few, but I don't have them posted yet. They had already cleared out the third base side of the suites, and then we're doing that. And they were going to do some work there in that media center, which is the old press row, and where my broadcast booth, Morgan's office is. All those are being kind of shuffled around, redone. They need some work. I mean, there were some places there, I can tell you, where a trash can had to cover for a leak. It happened many a time. So, yes, that's being redone as well. All the T-Bones bobbleheads ever made. Also, hey, we got a collection. Yeah, just trust me. I show you more what this. Yes, you're real close to her. I'm real close. We're all close to Morgan. She was great in the show, but did you guys go back and watch Thursday? She was great when she stopped by. By the way, Morgan will be stopping by on our monthly shows. Let's see here. Any T-Bones jerseys and tip of the. Just kind of, again, that we kind of talked about a little bit, Connor, but no plans yet on that. Let's see here. Max wants to know about the park. He started barking in the house. Yes. Let's see here. We're having a bark in the park every Sunday, incorporating our furry pals of Family Fun Sunday this year. Sunday fun day. There we go. Little promo to keep the dogs happy. Will parking still be free? Morgan, can you answer that one? That one I don't know. Talking about the Chiefs last night, here in the Hot Stove Update. Again, Dan Vaughn voiced the Monarchs. Well, my light is in the way here. Sorry. There we go. Yes. Boo, bad answer. I don't know. We don't know yet, Connor. I guess my point is we haven't made any call. We've not made any call on selling any of that stuff yet or wearing any of that stuff. But there's going to be really cool uniforms and plenty. I just don't. That's down the list of things they've gotten to, but will be duly noted. It'll be duly noted. Let's see here. It will be awesome. Yes, it will be awesome. Yes, it will be. Okay. Again, Dan Vaughn, voice of the Monarchs. Glad you're along on a Hot Stove Update here on a Monday, a Chiefs Monday. Now, imagine my excitement, and I'm sure yours as well. Last night, about 8:30, 15 Central Daylight Time, CBS goes to a break during the Chiefs-Buffalo Bills AFC Championship game. You guys saw that, right? You know where I'm going with this? Jim Nantz comes back from a break, and let me pull this up because this is what I took from my couch. This was from my seat on the couch, and I'm sure you guys saw various as well. Let's see here. There we go. This was my couch. There we go. That's the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City. And there's the CBS logo. And that's not all. There's one more. I also took this one, sitting on my couch. Luckily, and that's the good thing about doing a break. Do you guys do this in the break? Do you go the commercial break? Do you go to check Twitter or whatever, see what's going on? I do that all the time when I'm watching the game. And so I actually had the phone in my hand and just tap take a picture. Let's see here. I believe it's this one. There we go. And how about this one? The Bud Light Seltzer. But there you go, KC. And I believe you can't tell, but I believe that's I think it's Jackie Robinson sliding there. But Jim Nantz goes and mentions the museum and talks about it's a must stop if you're in Kansas City. And that is cool. I mean, that was so cool last night to see that. They also they showed some video shots of around the museum that we were just there on Thursday. It was cool. I mean, that partnership at work, I mean, I would have thought it was cool in any normal day. But the fact that your Monarchs are part of that partnership on a worldwide broadcast, as a matter of fact, my dear mate watching in Australia, it was 10 o'clock in the morning over there, texts me saying, "Hey, mate, I just saw the museum. I think that was a Monarchs kit on the screen." And it was a throwback Monarchs kit on the screen. Exactly was. That was seen worldwide. That's freaking cool. I mean, think about that. Probably I would imagine the highest watched event last night of all the television shows was that. Maybe worldwide. Pretty cool. And that's a partnership with the museum and the Monarchs, and we're very proud of that. Thank you, the Negro Leagues Museum and those folks over there. I'm going to put their stuff up in a minute. But you guys see that? Anyway, that was so cool to see that. Let's see here. Parking will be free, by the way. Sorry about that. Answer your question. Austin as well. What's going to happen with the giant bull with a bullseye on it? We're looking for that answer. We're going to get to meet the players this year. Now, here's the deal on that. This is the thing. I love our park because that's one of the coolest things you can do. The clubhouse is in right field. The guys walk down those long steps. They walk along the fence line there, and fans are in the stands coming and going. And the kiddos all gather around the clubhouse on those steps, or they'll be in the grassy embankment out there, seeing the players and getting autographs and high fives. We've also done in the past, obviously, player signings and appearances. We've always done that. That's something I know Morgan really wants to do. It's all going to be due to the county guidelines on COVID. So the answer to you is yes, depending on what COVID protocols are in place. So if the COVID restrictions don't allow it, I'll take a year off from it. But you know as well as I do that one of the benefits of playing in the American Association, being in the minor leagues, is its fan friendliness. That's not going to change. That's the cornerstone of our business at a game day experience, is to be able to reach out and high five the player. I mean, go to a big league game. I remember this happened. I was mentioning my mate in Australia, Paul Morgan. We went to the Indians at the time, and they were playing the Twins. And we were sitting front row by the tarp, by first base. It was myself, his wife Tiana at the time, Mayora, his youngest, was the only child they had. They've done, they have now since two. Ball comes over, play is made, and I can't remember how it worked exactly. Like the player was chasing it, it bounced and landed like on the warning track, and the player picked it up and handed it to his daughter, Mayora, and she was little bitty, had a little cap on, and little Cleveland cap on. And those experiences, to be right there to a major leaguer, they happen once in 1,000 of minor league, big league games. I mean, I've been going to big league games for a long time, and I've only if I know a player have I really had any interaction. Doesn't mean you're not going to have a chance to high five the guy in the right seat or in the bullpen. At Oakland's Coliseum, the bullpen's right next to the seats. You can talk to those guys. Of course, one year they threw chairs. Fans did, but I guess the Rangers threw chairs, actually, is what it was. But the point was, that's something you don't get a chance to do. In the minor leagues, you get that chance to meet the players. So all that's going to be there, except for, as we mentioned, COVID restrictions and all that. If it's a thumbs up, we're going to do it. If it's a thumbs down, we won't do it till it's safe. Let's see here. Anyway, here the bullseye question. Wait and see on that. It's still up. I can tell you that. It was there on Thursday. Nothing about the Ball Stadium and game. What particularly, Anthony, did I miss? Did I miss this up here when you were asking? Ask it again, Anthony. I'll answer it for you. But so we wrap this thing up. Coming up, we're starting not this Wednesday, but next. I do believe the first show in February. I believe that's the next. We will start our Monarchs Live, which I'm going to look at my calendar here. That is actually going to be the 3rd of February. Our show in the off season our show usually airs. The old show, it won't be much different. It'll be, by the way, Anthony, go ahead and ask that question, mate, and I will give you what I can. The old steakhouse is gone, closed, gone. But the new show, which is going to be basically the old show with do the same things we did before. We're going to talk about the ball club, have guests, get you ready for the season, keep the hot stove burning, all that. As a matter of fact, on the first show, we're going to go back and revisit what we talked about briefly last June or July. We talked about the hot stove. I'm going to bring you a segment that I did on Talking Baseball Australia Live, explaining the hot stove in detail, what actually the hot stove means. There is actually a meaning, and I didn't know it myself. I mean, I kind of knew it, but not all of it. Complete with some interesting cartoons and old school cartoon drawings from the paper's sports page back in the turn of the last century, where they used to talk like, you say, hey, champ, you see? Back in those days. Cue the music and the people walking fast in video. That's what you're going to be talking about. But we're going to talk about the hot stove origins. That'll be on the 3rd of February. It will be a noon start, hard noon start during lunchtime. I expect these shows, again, they're going to be just like they were before. We'll have Joe Capietro on. We're going to have players on, management. We're going to be meeting all of our new staff. We've got some new folks out the ballpark that you're going to be meeting for the first time on our show. We've already heard from Art Brandmeier. He's been on. He was last Thursday. He was actually on our first official show as the Monarchs was last Thursday at the museum. But all that, Morgan's going to make her weekly or monthly appearances as well. It'll probably be weekly. As we'll get ramped up going February every other week. And then once we get to April, we'll go every week as we get closer. And then when we get to May, you know what we do in May. May we do the show every lunchtime. It's just a little shorter show, but lunchtime, we move it to 11 o'clock. We used to call it the Cup of Sizzle. Right now, that name will be something, but at the time being, it's a cup with the Monarchs, something along those lines. That'll be our pregame, day game show. You'll see that show live every broadcast day, Monday through Friday. Now, weekends, we won't do it, but on Monday through Friday, you're in the office, you're at home, grab a cup. We're going to chat a little bit about the night before, the upcoming game, promotions. Home and away, we'll do that right here on the Monarchs Facebook page. And of course, we'll have Monarchs Live, pregame, postgame on social as well. And we got some exciting things. I mentioned this over the course of the off season. For example, right now, we're simulcasting on 2 different channels. We'll eventually be doing both on Facebook. We'll be doing some stuff on Instagram. Also on our YouTube channel, we'll be simulcasting. And also, you'll be able to see some of this content on our website live as well. These are all things going forward. Now, they're not going to be all right away, but by the time the season gets here, a lot of that. So nothing's going to change as far as that's concerned. We're looking forward to bringing great content. I believe that what we're doing, what Morgan's doing, what I'm doing, and what the Monarchs are doing is going to be out in front. I mean, it's personally as a broadcaster, I'll toot my horn here. I was doing social media live back in Gary when no one else thought it was worth the darn. And now everybody does it. So we're going to keep plugging away, keep firing away, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing. But the show will air its first installment a week from Wednesday. I expect to have Joe Capietro on, either live or via tape, and we'll talk about the roster. We're also going to update from the ball club and tickets and merch and all that stuff. We're going to give you all that stuff coming on our Monarchs Live. And, of course, that name may change. And if you have some ideas for that, we're all good with that. So that's what I got going for you. A hot stove update that turned into a long show. But, you know what? You guys are excited to recap the news again. Here it is. Maybe you guys both these. Gavin LaValle and Jan Hernandez are your 2 new Monarchs, both 26. Look for LaValle to probably, as far as, I didn't look at his position up, what he played most last year or 2019. Let me double check just defensively because I did break his defense down. He played mostly first and third, so corner guy mostly first and third. But I definitely see him at the corner DH spot as well. And then I think you're going to see Hernandez probably in right field, although he did play some first, but I think he's definitely going to be a right fielder. Maybe a center field in a pinch. But that's what we're going to see. Anthony, appreciate it, mate. I appreciate you. I appreciate all y'all. I do. I really, really do. You guys are going to, I think you're going to really enjoy. Let me tease this for you. Would you guys like this? I'm going to ask you guys this down the road. But again, first off, let me give you this. Again, welcome Gavin LaValle from Oklahoma, Jan Hernandez from Puerto Rico. They're now officially Monarchs, and they are. The answer to the trivia question, who were the Kansas City Monarchs' first signees in the American Association? Bingo! You got it right there. Mentioned Jordan George released. There was a bit of a logjam in the infield position, especially adding LaValle here. I haven't asked Joe this yet, but my guess is logjam and roster restrictions will definitely put that question to Joe coming up next Wednesday week about that, what the Jordan George situation was. Jordan only played a couple of games with KC, left to go sign with the Royals, came back and played in the association last summer in Winnipeg, was back with Kansas City, but released today, but we will get that going. Nate, excited, he says. And very excited to get the family of the games. By the way, very good thing to do here while we're closing things out. Definitely check out the new website. Okay, I'll give you that in a moment. But if I can find the phone number here, where did I put it? And I swear it's up there. Well, anyway, Vaughn, should I just read it to you guys? Can I just do that? I get so ahead of my skis sometimes. Let's see here. Down here at the bottom of the website, 913. Let's do this. Let me just copy and paste it here. You told me years ago I'd be doing live social media like this. Sorry about that. I'll just read it to you. It's 913. Let's write this down, folks. 913-328-5618. Again, the number again. 913-328-5618. It's a place to go right there. Tickets, those questions and groups. It's all there. And again, the website is up. I'm going to give you those links in a moment. The website is up. There is merch on there. I mean, you want to check that out. A really cool merch page. You can go check the launch page out as well. But very excited. Right there with you, mate. By the way, I'll pull this down. Patrick! I appreciate you, mate. Appreciate you. You're the man. I have so much love for you guys. I can't. What I do and what really gets my gears going, I love these shows, but I love the broadcast. I love to talk to you folks on the broadcast. I love to talk to you guys right here. And when I don't, I got to admit, I go through withdrawals. I mean, I did a whole season of no games. The last game I called was in Canberra, Australia, dang near a year ago next week. So I'm now called, in my head and listened. And we did the thing this summer. We don't know if you guys remember this on SoundCloud. We did the T-Bone's Greatest Hits. We went back and played those games that were really big hits back in the day. And I did listen to those and listen to the whole broadcast. But I miss talking to y'all. We don't do these shows. I miss them. So I love the Hot Stove updates. And they turn into long rants like this one. But I also enjoy our shows, scheduled shows. And I look forward to chatting with you guys. And these shows are for you. Patrick and all you guys, these shows are for you. These are your shows. I host them and talk about them and guide the ship, but I bring you content and I want you guys to interact. My broadcast, as you know, is interactive. I want y'all to be listening and let me know how things are going. Man, you're happy? Let me know it. You're not? Let's try to cheer you up. Let's try to fight through it, right? But I'm excited as well. I mean, I've been on cloud nine really since last November, 2019, but you throw in the rebrand, pretty fired up. Pretty fired up. all that. So let me recap here the places to go on our social channels here. And here we go. Again, Twitter, KS City Monarchs, our Twitter handle. That's the place to go. So please, you can follow the Twitter news. Morgan's great about putting out those things, anything, just in general. Congratulations, Chiefs. That's always out there. Also, our mates over at the museum, there they are, Negro Leagues Baseball Museum KC. That's a good follow. I mean, Bob Kendrick and his group over there, phenomenal job. That's a great follow. Follow them. Also, their website is another great place to go. Just pretty simple. I got it up right here. I just don't have it on the screen there, but it's NLBM.com. Let me put that on the screen for you, so you guys can see that as well. There we go. Sorry about that. I meant to put it up early and I didn't, but we will do that now. Let's put that up there. There is their website right there. And of course, you've got our website as well, monarchsbaseball.com. Monarchsbaseball.com. There it is for you right there. Monarchsbaseball.com. And of course, you can follow me at my Twitter page, which is pretty simple. It's Dan Vaughn Jr. By the way, I got to put this up too. I love this. You guys like this hashtag? I love this hashtag. Reign Reborn. Reign Reborn. Love that. Love that. Yes, and let's see here. Again, my Twitter page, and I would love to have you follow me. And basically what it is more of this and a little bit more, a little bit of other stuff too, but I don't have a problem. You folks, you better follow both of us. You need to follow the Monarchs and check me out as well. There you go. You really want some baseball, and you're really dying to check out some baseball. There is baseball being played in Australia. You can see I mentioned Aaron Brown's playing for Brisbane. Those games will be beginning this week on Thursday evening in Australia, which would be overnight. Wednesday night here, Perth is playing Adelaide. That'll be overnight Wednesday 4 in the morning, but Thursday, Friday, but overnight. So a couple of those games, I believe the weekend games will be more North American friendly. Guys like former T-Bone Mikey Reynolds is playing in Canberra. See him. A lot of connections over there. So if you want to check out the Australian Baseball League, the American Association, and the Australian Baseball League partnering and promoting each other. So check those out as well. A big thanks to everybody. Really, really thankful. Bob, you're happy, and you know what, mate? I know you are. I get this off the screen too, for crying out loud. I get those. Clap your hands. Do you remember that song? Who didn't go to church camp, right? Who didn't do that in elementary school? I did. All right. Much love to everybody. I don't have an open and close yet, but I'm working on it. It'll take a little time because I'm, in my perfectionist ways. It took me forever for those last two, so it's going to take me a few days. Anyway, don't forget, coming up shows next Wednesday the 3rd. Any updates that happen, we'll give them to you right here. And of course, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the channels, those Kansas City Monarchs. Big thanks to Morgan for her help kind of keeping things in the chat. For all you folks who stopped by and said hello, what a great, great few days it's been. Congratulations, the Chiefs Kingdom, for all you folks in Kansas City. All much love to y'all. I say it every time. Let's be better tomorrow than we were today. Let's be better Monarch fans tomorrow than we were today. Let's be better just in general. I know some of us are scuffling. My wife is she's quarantined and I'm in a different part of the house. Let's just all love and try to fight through it. Let's just be better. Virtual hugs. I love you guys, and I mean that. Hope you're doing well. Can't be more excited about what's going on. Please check out our merch and our tickets, all that on our website at monarchsbaseball.com. Give those folks a call. Check it out. Get excited. It is January 25th. We're getting close to getting close. We're getting close to getting close. We're getting closer. That's what I'm saying. All right. Again, thanks, guys. Mike, hey, my football team hasn't been in the championship since my nephews were born. and they're in their 20s. So, Adam, as a matter of fact, my daughters don't realize that at one time, the Dallas Cowboys were really, 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 I mean, really good. All they know is they suck. It's terrible, and I love them. I grew up with them. Here's the deal, folks. I grew up in a time where every year it was like playoffs are written in stone. So enjoy these times because you never know how long they're going to last. But way to go, Chiefs! Good for you guys. Yes, thanks Texas Tech. Gosh, you guys are great. Let's see here. Go Monarchs! So excited, and we're all excited. Again, much love to you guys. I love you. I gotta go. I'll see you guys in the next update a week from Wednesday, February 3rd, our first official live show with Joe Capietra and others, a cast of thousands. We'll bring you all the news from your Kansas City Monarchs. Much love, everybody. Hey, I love Dak too. I love everybody. Hard not to. Anyway, I'm with you, Mike. Go Monarchs. Just put them on the screen. I love you guys. We'll see y'all down the road. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Go Monarchs, go!